Hello, and welcome back. Phoenix World Championship greets you once again, this time for the season finale. As we proceed to the Hockenheimring, the famous atmosphere of empty grandstands, beautiful sights of not enough money to afford Formula One, but still plenty of beautiful cars on display, and one more race to go before we are done with season number 5. We are deep in the qualifying, halfway through in fact, and we are on board with Latvian Gunsis, who is currently the top chaser for the championship, which is all but in the hands of McLaren team. And here is your current standings with 1 week to go. McLaren team deep in the lead with 240 points. 26 points back is Gunsis. They both had a 0-point drop week. So it has to be a difference of 26 points or more this weekend if Gunsis is to steal the title. Everybody else is mathematically eliminated from what I can understand, since Psychedelics is 60 points back and you can only get 43. So it's a 2-car battle for Division 1. It's McLaren team versus Gunsis, and McLaren team is definitely in the driver's seat for this battle. But in the Tier 2 or Division 2 Championship, we have an exciting battle. We do have a 3-way fight. In the lead of Division 2 is currently Martin24 in a Porsche, which is definitely strong on this circuit. Currently 6 in the qualifying, currently on the pit lane, preparing for his next attempt. And here he is leaving the pit lane as we speak. And the competition is gonna be the Indonesian Cool K in a Mercedes, just 1 point back. All 3 of the Division 2 contenders have 0 in the drop week. So essentially, whoever is on top of these 2 will win division, unless there is a third person, Viperian, who is currently 6 points back of Marzen. He needs to have a buffer between him and 2 others, but if he ends up ahead by a couple positions come the end of a race, that will be his Division 2 title as he progresses to 9th, and Gunsis steals the top spot from McLaren team by 0.06 of a second. So it's a battle in both divisions. Also a battle for 3rd place, as Psychedelics is 8 points ahead of Artem Racing. Looking at Artem, currently residing in 11th place, so not the best start of qualifying. Psychedelics not much better in 7th, and it's still pretty tight. Most of the field is close in 27th. So we'll see how that will progress. Obviously battles up and down and all around the championship. And as well, we do have battles in team standings, although that is pretty much settled. McLaren team and Saltseeder are running away. Racing team Intel 143 points clear of the nearest contender in PRT Black. But PRT Orange and Framed Automotive might have a little bit of a tussle on their hands. We'll see how that progresses, and obviously a few positions further down the grid are still to be shaken up and settled down. McLaren team rounds out the final turn. We have 4 minutes to go and we go on board in a Ferrari. No improvement this time around, but he started his fast lap now. Very treacherous track limits in turn 1 on the outside. Viperian improves to 6th position. There's your battle for Division 2. And not James steals top point from Gunsis. Remember, top 3 get points in qualifying. So not James from Racing Team Intel indirectly helps McLaren team from Racing Team Intel 1 by taking a point away from Gunsis. Every point might matter here if there is an issue for McLaren team. So that might as well be a blow for Gunsis, who now needs to shave off 30 hundredths of a second. But team himself is currently beating his personal best by about 1/10. That'll be enough to jump Gunsis. Might not be enough to jump James, but still, that is the battle right now. As much as it probably hurts to hear if you're James, that his pole is currently a non-factor in the championship battle. So that Ferrari still negotiates the middle sector, entering turn 11 and now 12, 13, 14 into the final section, into the Sachs and then Zut curve, with a couple of, again, treacherous turns here. You can't go too wide. The sausage curbs, or the, I guess, donut curbs here will bite you, if invalidate the lap and maybe send you into the wall. And there we go, McLaren Tim with a late push in the third sector improves to 26.3, and RTR White car regains the lead in the qualifying. 2.5 minutes to go. Gunses is on track and possibly with a vendetta here. He is currently approaching the final sector. Two chasers, Nemaitis and Saltseeder. Again, close to the championship, just 3 points, and close in the standings, just 18 thousandths of a second between those two. So they will be probably another battle we have to keep a close eye on. They've been close to each other the entire championship, and probably be close to each other here as well. Nemaitis with a graduation from Division 2 this season. Not James is on the pit road, so I think that might be it for him. And Gunses makes a mistake, and off the track he goes. That lap is invalidated immediately. He will have one more attempt with about 30 seconds to go, so he now needs to set up for that. But no more room for error for the Latvian if he wants to steal that top spot. Viperian is in the pits as well, so that's qualifying likely done for him. Not James leaves the pits, so he might be on time. Improvement for Psychedelics into 4th position, jumping Nemaitis and Saltseeder. Statement of Autumn Racing, who improves but just to 11th spot. Not good enough for the Russian currently. McLaren Team improves again, 26.312. Smartpipe improves to 5th position, 27.1. It'll be Saltseeder and Nemaitis closely following each other, physically and in the standings. Saltseeder 27 flat, Nemaitis 27 flat, and again just 5 thousandths of a second between those two. They still have one more attempt. McLaren Tim, Smartpipe, Viperian and Martin all on the pit road. Looks like Nemaitis is done, so he will not improve over Saltseeder. So we have 50 seconds to go. McLaren Team is done. Not James. He's probably gonna be just on time to start his time lap. I'm gonna wait and see. The next car behind him, Trubush, improves 28.9. Looks like White Shaper is the only car who hasn't set a fast lap. Neon Tiger unfortunately had to pull out late due to a personal emergency, unfortunately. So 14 cars on the grid. Not James got it in time, and he will start his fast lap now. Spitfire and Atom Racing also probably gonna take the last lap before Checkered, and it looks like Psychedelics might be getting there. With 3 seconds to go, he paused the time, he improves, but he will still have one more attempt. And now, Checkered Flag and everybody posting final times. 3 tenths needed for Saltseeder to improve over Psychedelics. The white Ferrari that will probably win the team championship, looking to improve from 5th position at the start. Psychedelics in the pits now, will not be able to contend if there is an improvement. Saltseeder crosses the line, 26.8. There is an improvement, but not good enough. Next up, Kulke in the battle for Division 2. Martin is half a second ahead. Let's see if there is an improvement on the final lap. Kulke crosses the line, and we see nothing. No improvement here. Looks like Scheiper is gonna be the one taking the Checkered next. He will need a valid time. No times by Scheiper posted yet. Waiting to see, and still not a 31.5, not a good enough lap. McLaren Team crossed the line, 36.2. Gunses 26.5, no improvement, and the Latvian stays in 3rd. Trubushi jumps in the pits. Not James with a final timed lap on his own, crosses the line, improves, but just 1,000th of a second behind his teammate. It cannot get any closer. Not James with a late push, no improvement. Atom Racing, nothing, still 11th. Bad qualifying for him. Spitfire closes the qualifying, stays in 10th place, and that's all she wrote. 1,000th of a second decided the pole position. McLaren Team from Not James. Racing Team until 1 and 2. Top row. Gunsis and Psychedelics, McLaren and Mercedes in row 2. Salt Cedar and Nemesis, the everlasting enemies in
Radio
5th
check for
and
race control.
6th. Smart Pipe in 7th alongside Viperin, who finds himself in front of Martin for that championship. He will need a buffer, but so far he has completed step 1. Martin and Spitfire, row 5. Row 6, Artem Racing with a disaster over qualifying. If he's to contend for that podium position alongside Cool K, who is the bottom 3 fighting for Division 2 after qualifying. True Wushi and White Sharper is your row 7, rounding out our grid. And I will quickly take a pen and add a couple of points. So McLaren Tim will be residing on the 243 currently. We'll add to Nod James, that's gonna be 69. Nice. And Gunsis is currently at 215 points. So that is 28 points he needs to gain from McLaren Tim. And while we are waiting for the race to start, I am trying to check the regulations. And also it looks like just a little bit of a break, as there's a bit of a technical issue. So please hang on, as we're gonna join the race momentarily while I still look up the points. And you can probably hear lots of paper, and that is very old school preparation for the event. So the winner gets 40 points. That is the most Gunsis can have today after the qualifying run. So with the single class standings, you have top 15, so pretty much everyone qualifying for points. And for 28 points, that's well, 12, and it's gonna be 11th place that gets 10 points. So pretty much what McLaren team needs is a top 10 finish. And as we go, there is a start procedure going on, and I think we are safe to return to our race. It looks like we are going safety carless this time around, as there might have been a slight bit of a technical issue. But we will proceed for now. So McLaren team leads the field around, and we have, as usual, 60 minutes plus 1 lap available for the drivers to compete around the track. As usual, 1 pit stop mandatory between 20th and 40th minute, and everything else, not much else to it. Beat your opponents to the checkered. 14 cars in 7 rows line up in double file before the final sector, preparing to take the start. A beautiful display. If you're a Racing Team Intel fan, take your screenshots now. 2 RTI teams in black and white line up on the front row for the special season finale edition, ditching the green colors instead electing with pure black and white as they're exiting the final corner and getting ready to go. Waiting for the leader, there's a bit of a gap. A Spitfire elects to go to pit lane at the start. Something might have happened. And good start for McLaren team further down the grid. We do have a little bit of track extension, but I don't think we've had any issues regarding crashing and corner negotiation side by side. And go Artem Racing trying to improve. Around the outside goes Martin. Artem improves to 10th position, but not much further. Meanwhile, McLaren team safe in the lead. Behind him, not James keeping his position. Guns and Psychedelics relatively safe. Artem Racing is trying to pressure Martin, but that Porsche is rapid. And Kulke from behind accelerates. He's going to be on the outside. Late braking by the Ferrari. Trying to outrace. Side by side, and good defense by Artem Racing, keeping his 10th position for now. Psychedelics finds himself in 4th, pretty safe for the podium place for now. Viperian and Smart Pipe exchange penalty. Viperian sent wide, and there is an incident, there is a crash, and Smart Pipe is spinning around, and there is severe damage to that Lamborghini, trying to take avoidant action. And looks like it will take a while. He is now back in pits, and that's a hard crash, and we'll see what happened there. That might have been a little bit of a rejoin issue. Looking at Spitfire, he is back on track racing and improving by a couple positions, so looks like it's just something happening at the start to him. Viperian continues on in 8th place. We'll see if there was some not nice play. White Sharper and Spitfire exchanging places, 2 teammates in Nordfelder's Motorsport. In 10th and 11th, Martin dropped to 12th position. So after a good qualifying effort, Martin now in 11th. Nemaitis and Saltseeder, we've seen that song and dance before. Nemaitis and Saltseeder side by side, coming into turn 7 and further into Mercedes Arena. Late braking, and too late of a braking by Saltseeder, leaving the track and has to yield that position for now. Nemaitis ends up in 5th place, and that will definitely continue. Artem Racing improves from all that calamity up to 7th. Now 7th, but Psychedelics still in 4th. The gap is 8 points, so it's 2 to 3 positions Artem Racing needs to gain over Psychedelics. It's not just his performance, he needs Psychedelics to make an error. Spitfire off the road again, trying to see where it is. That's gonna be Mobile 1, turn 11. Nemaitis goes in front of Psychedelicization for the German. Saltseeder goes ahead, and speaking, another issue of commentators' curse, Psychedelics. As soon as I said that he needs to help out Artem, does so immediately, dropping down to 6th place, and Artem Racing is directly behind now. McLaren team looks just about gone. 2.5 seconds over McLaren team, who is now being chased by Gunses. The Latvian definitely wants all the clear air he can afford in case there is an issue for McLaren team. But for now, he needs to just settle down and chase not James, who will be definitely playing a good rear gunner if Tim is to be slowing down, which I don't think is happening anytime soon, if we're completely honest. Psychedelics now on a warpath, chasing down his further countryman. Saltseeder, that's for 5th position. Artem Racing now 2.9 back. That used to be about 4 seconds, so the Russian in a Ferrari still trying his best to catch up after a dismal qualifying effort, and that's Gunses, very slow. Looks like he was wide in turn 11. Another victim of that. Now he's 4.5 back, now under fire from Nemaitis. Nemaitis had to slow down. Nemaitis tries to dive down the inside. A little bit of issue continues for the Latvian. Now Nemaitis under fire from Saltseeder. The German is very close on his tail, but into turn 1 there is only one line. And that line is a little bit messy from Saltseeder. Might put him under fire from Psychedelics now. There's a big train. Let's see what the German does. Currently sits behind. There is a long straight after turn 4 through Parabolic, and that Mercedes does have a little bit of oomph over the Ferrari. But half a second, that's probably a little bit too much. But speaking of not too much, Nimedes is attacking Gunses on the inside. That McLaren has the speed on the inside. Let's see if there will be a crossover. No, Gunses yields the position, and down to 4th place he goes. And his title hopes are about to vanish into thin air. Now Nimedes in the podium position, leading that whole group from 3rd to 6th place. Autumn Racing is slowly catching up because of that calamity behind. So he's helping himself and more people but himself with that battle. But that Ferrari needs a little bit of more pace. Further down, Spitfire after his issues trying to chase down Wushi. There's a second between them, so that Porsche is still a handful for the Russian. Kulki is in the wall. That's turn 11 again. Kulki is in the wall, and Viperian and Martin both go around. Scheipert, Wushi, and Spitfire all go in front of Kulki as he drops down to 13th place. Psychedelics in the wall, in the last corner. Psychedelics in the wall, and that's a disaster. He has to wait for everybody. He moves just now, trying to avoid. He's down to 10th, maybe 11th, and that's Autumn Racing in front by a good solid margin. Everything is happening for Psychedelics. That Mercedes down to 11th. Disaster strikes for both him and Kulki. 2 Mercedes down in 1 lap. And that's gonna be a huge uphill battle for the German. The gap is 8 points. If Autumn Racing stays in 6th position as is, if Autumn Racing stays as is, I'm trying to count the points. I'm not the best at maths, so pardon me. Okay. I am currently trying to find an appropriate allocation. There we go. For 6th place, you get awarded 22 points. So with an 8-point gap between those two, there has to be, 14 or less. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 positions. There has to be a gap between Autumn Racing and Psychedelics. Currently the gap is 5. So Psychedelics needs top 9 finish to ensure his victory. Top 10, that's gonna be tight with Autumn Racing still in a fight. So we see the target for Psychedelics. He still has a gap. He can still improve on that. Martin currently catching up to Viperian. That's a direct battle. That's a direct battle for Division 2 Championship. Porsche versus Mercedes. Remember, for Viperian, that's not enough to just be ahead of Martin. He needs somebody else to be in between him and Martin to have a chance. That's not happening as of yet. Meanwhile, what's happening in Psychedelics? Catching up to Wushi. Mercedes on the inside, Lamborghini on the outside. Late break and a little bit of a dive, but safe overtake from Psychedelics. Up to 10th place he goes. Martin tries to attack Viperian. That's not happening just yet. That's probably not the easiest place to overtake. That's a Mercedes arena they're getting out of. Looks like True Wushi had a little bit of an issue, went wide. I think that's Mercedes arena as well. Probably overcooked just a tiny little bit, but that's a battle between Kulke and Psychedelics. Kulke pulls out of that one before turn 11. Scheipert seemed to be a little bit slow there, but I'm not sure exactly. But for now, Psychedelics saves his 10th position. And for top 2, you see Nimedes is catching up to James and pulling Gunses along. That McLaren is mighty fast. So Nimedes is definitely trying to make a statement. He has a 21-point gap to Autumn Racing, so probably not enough to catch top 3, but Nimedes is doing everything in his power to do so. So if there is a bit of an issue for both Autumn and Psychedelics, Spitfire in the pits currently, and remember, Autumn Racing is on 19 penalty points, so plenty of penalty points might get him championship points docked. He needs 11 more to do that, so Everything is a possibility. So if Nimedes catches a pole and maybe top 2, there might be a battle for the podium place, and the Dane is doing everything in his power to get himself in a favorable position. South City is 1.3 back, currently waiting, but Nimedes himself is under fire from Gunsis. Gunsis tries to enter on the inside into Zax. That's an unorthodox place to try a move, but Gunsis does it. Brilliant late move, and Gunsis promotes himself to the podium place. Now Nimedes finds himself in a very familiar spot with white Ferrari staring down his mirrors. Psychedelics catches up to White Shepherd. That's for 9th position, and that's safety net for Psychedelics regarding his championship hopes for the 3rd overall place. So he'll definitely want that move done sooner rather than later. Mars and Viperian still deadlocked, 1 second between them, but South Cedar, we go on board with him. He sees the train. That's the train all the way up to P number 2. And South Cedar is trying his best to get around that train. A little bit of a late break, but good enough for the German. He is relatively close to his fastest lap. For South Cedar, that's currently 27.9. Not the best of times, but nobody in racing pace is getting faster than 127. We saw Psychedelics improve over Scheiper, and Scheiper late brakes, it looks like, and misses the turn completely. That is the hairpin. And we've seen Wushi as well miss the turn. Return, no! That's Nimedes in the wall! That's turn 11, strikes again, and a Dane is in the wall. Rejoins as soon as possible, but that's all the positions lost, and now that's Viperian and Martin cruising around him. Nimedes, oh, Martin loses the car as well! Martin loses the car, and now there's Nimedes between Viperian and himself. That's implications for Division 2, that Porsche was a handful, and now he has to climb all the way back up. Everything is happening. Hockenheimring promotes himself to 5th position, and that's another wrench into the plans of Psychedelics. It's very difficult to count points for now. As we continue on, just 10 minutes to go, just 10 minutes gone in the race, and already so many events. And looks like turn 11 is catching up a lot of people here. Cool K catching up to Psychedelics, who's now a little bit stuck behind Martin. So that's 2 Mercedes cars chasing each other again. And looks like there's a battle. Gunsis and now James side by side into turn 7. And now Mercedes Arena. Gunsis on the inside. No, James on the outside, trying to pinch, but not good enough. Next will be a left-hander, but then a right-hander for now James. They're still side by side, and now James is loose. Now James is loose, and in a cloud of smoke he goes, dropping down. Hockenheimring up in 4th from 11th in qualifying. The Russian just stays on the road and improves and improves and improves. And now there is a solid issue for Psychedelics, as Hockenheimring gets a lot of points here. South Cedar finds himself in 3rd place all alone. After that battle, from what we've seen, there has not been contact, and it looks like not James just a little bit too heavy on the throttle at the exit of a turn. We'll have to wait and see later what happened there. Psychedelics chasing down Martin. Martin himself needs to catch up to Nimedes. Nimedes currently chasing down Viperian. Viperian definitely wants to protect that gap between himself and Martin. 6 points is the gap in Division 2. As we discussed, for 6th position, that's 22 points. For 8th position, it's 16, so it's 6. It will go to countback, and in countback, looking at the result, it would be Martin winning currently, as his last best result with 28 points in the last race, and for Viperian it's 25 points currently. He will need to get top 4 or 5 finish to improve over Martin here. So it will be tied on points, but Martin will take the title if it stays like this. So definitely needs some good planning for Viperian or his teammate. Remember, PRT Black is Viperian Psychedelics, and Psychedelics is currently behind Martin. Psychedelics is fighting for his own battle, but he also might be fighting for Viperian's battle as well. As his improvement over Marson will mean that Viperian will be your preliminary Division 2 winner. Lots of negotiation, but there is another factor in Nimedas in PRT Orange. He's definitely not want to play to his sister car's strength, disregarding Viperian probably, as he's trying to chase down his own battle with Assault Cedar, who's currently in third. Still lots of racing to do, but Nimedas needs to hurry up. That Mercedes is strong on the straight, so it definitely will be a challenge for Nimedas to get a pass done. So it will be for Psychedelics. He's 0.3 back, but that Porsche is still an absolute rocket ship down the straightaways. So he'll need some creative turning, and there is a chance of a crossover, but not good enough to get around Marson. It's going to be a tight battle. Gunsis, meanwhile, is solidly ahead of Salt Cedar and gaining ground. McLaren team is as good as gone. As long as he doesn't just get stuck in the wall, I think McLaren team is going to be your new Phoenix World Championship victor. And, well, he's just going to keep that title. Might as well, until Photonburst returns. Issue for Kulke. Issue for Kulke, and he's hard in the wall. That's turn 10. I think that's the Lance Stroll issue. And he is now gonna be, yikes, under fire from White Scheiper, and Scheiper lost it. Now returns to the track precariously, but looks like everybody is safe and sound for now. A little bit sketchy there, but everybody is alive. Scheiper might have a word or two to say about Kulke, but for now we continue on. Nimedas and Viperian still locked in a battle. We are almost up to our pit window. 4 minutes to go in that, so... And Psychedelics and Marson still locked in a battle. Psychedelics looking for a little bit of a draft. That Mercedes still can pull along in a draft just fine. Let's see who is later on the brakes. Into the hairpin they go. Psychedelics looks down the inside, doesn't go. A little bit of a spook here. And it might have worked. This psychological warfare might have worked as Marson goes just a little bit wide. Psychedelics goes alongside, but that Porsche just denies Psychedelics. So Marson on the inside, late braking by the Mercedes. Again, they're still locked side by side. The next turn is going to be right. So Psychedelics will have an advantage, and that's the pass done. Chewush overtakes Scheiper meanwhile, but that's Psychedelics around Marson. And that is a Division 2 title currently going to Viperian. So the title changes hands like this. It's a battle between the Kiwi and the Brit. Not James on pit lane. That's not the window, so probably an issue after his earlier crash for James that forced him to pit short. Very unfortunate, as he was battling for the top row, but now he's going to be dropping further down. That might just throw an extra wrench in the points, as the point gap between the top spots is larger than bottom spots, so... And that gets another position to Psychedelics, remember. Psychedelics is now in 7th, Atom in 4th. So 4th position gives you 28 points. 7th gives you 19, so gap is 9 points, and Atom is 8 back. So, if Atom Racing stays in 4th, Psychedelics needs one more spot. He has to have one more spot, or that's his top 3 finish gone. So still proceed with very close to our pit window. It looks like now James is done, and that's Nimedas around Viperian. That is another wrench in Viperian's plans. Now Marson has the title. Everything changes like this. continue on. That's, let's see. Viperion still chasing down Nemesis. That's two sister teams, but they are not so friendly anymore. As the Division 2 title is on the line, Viperion goes down the inside with that powerful engine, but very late break by Nemesis. Spectacular braking effort as the Dane stays ahead for now. Almost at our pit window, no time to have a breather. Now Psychedelics is 2 seconds behind Viperion. Continue on. There is the pit window opening a little bit earlier than expected, but that's about half a lap difference. That should be okay with everybody's strategy. Let's see if anybody dives in at the very beginning. It looks like everybody at the top half is skipping. It looks like nobody likes to go early. We'll continue on. Viperion is a little bit slower, being caught up by Psychedelics. And I don't think Psychedelics will wait for Viperion either. He needs that one spot, and that one spot is his own teammate. That's Psychedelics battling for podium position in overall championship, but Viperion is currently battling for Division 2 title. That's two separate podiums, and two teammates will have to battle it out amongst themselves. I'm not sure there's any team radio going on currently. I would completely expect both of them to just stay silent and do their own thing. So the pit window is open while we're waiting for somebody to take it. I'm probably gonna take a short breather before the main event of the race. Meanwhile, you can enjoy the glorious Mercedes. And that's a spot for Psychedelics he has to get, and that's a point he got. He is currently back in 6th position, which means the gap between him and Atom Racing currently stands at, let's see, 6 points. 6 points, and he has a gap of 2. So any position change in favor of Atom Racing will still change the outcome. White Shaper and True Wushi looks like an overtake from Shaper, promotes him into top 10. Wushi's car is a little bit beaten up, but still continues on. We still have 13 cars remaining. Looks like now James is done with this race after his earlier incident. It might be a statement from Marzen, who's now catching back up to Viperion after his earlier misadventure. So, if Marzen overtakes Viperion, that would be a definite statement that, regardless of what happened, he is the one to claim the Division 2 title. We'll see how it progresses from here on out. but 1.5 is the gap, and it's only getting smaller. That Porsche is gaining quickly. Look at this gap between Delta and his personal best. 0.4. It's almost half a second faster. Immediately jinxed it, and now 0.2 faster. But the first sector is definitely an improvement for Marzen, who is now hunting himself some Kiwi Mercedes. Third sector is a little bit slower, but still enough to probably match his fastest lap time, which is good enough to catch up to Viperian. Viperian 28.1 fastest lap, and a mistake in the last 29.1, 28.6, so half a second gain, but still mistakes lost him almost a second in a second sector. So Marzen's Porsche is still a handful, but a quick handful. As we continue on, Atom Racing is keeping gap with Salt Cedar for now in third and fourth. Nemedis is a little bit too far back, so we'll see how pit window affects the standings. But for now, most of the cars are somewhat settled in their own gaps in the middle of a race. "34.5 minutes plus 1 lap until we conclude our 5th Phoenix World Championships here at Hockenheim. Still plenty of championship swaps up for grabs. Atom Racing and Psychedelic still in the battle. Salt Cedar and Nemedis separated by just 2 positions, but Nemedis is ahead by just 3 points. And if Salt Cedar is in third, that means that 4th position is already 4 points down. So if Salt Cedar keeps his 3rd place, Nemedis has to be ahead to keep that 5th place. And the drop weeks are low enough for it to not matter in the current state of affairs. Psychedelics looks like the first car to jump onto the pit lane. So the German dives in just before the halfway mark. Great camera angle for our TV crews. There we go. That's Psychedelics in the pits. Let's see where he rejoins. If he rejoins in traffic, that might be a problem for him. There goes Kulki. Next car, White Shaper, quite a bit back, it looks like. So it looks like Psychedelics will have plenty of free space available for himself. Or maybe not. There is the car, and there is gonna be a race at the exit. There is Scheiper, and Psychedelics will have to defend out to the pits to not let the McLaren in front of him, which might compromise his lap times early on. A little bit of a cold rubber, so he'll have to defend for a couple of turns before that settles down. But looks like it's 0.6, and that Mercedes is making sure he is able to pull on nicely. 27.0 from Gunses, almost matching the fast lap of McLaren team, which is currently 26.965. But still not good enough to start catching up. And it looks like Psychedelics manages to rejoin just far enough ahead. So far so good for Marzen as well. Find himself directly behind Viperian. Onto the pit lane he goes. Is the second stopping car here. And the Brit will try to undercut the Kiwi. He's gonna be towards the end of our pit road. We see overall picture of nice sunset at Hockenheim, welcoming Phoenix World Championship as again for what, 4th or 5th consecutive time. I'm not sure if it was the first season. Kulke we've seen dove onto the pit lane as well. That is Psychedelics, and the rest of them, let's see where he rejoins. He'll probably join behind Shaper and Wushi, which might be a little bit of a problem for Marzen, as he'll have to get around them. Or there might be just enough of a gap for it to not matter. I'm not sure. McLaren team, meanwhile, our championship leader is in the pits with a solid 17-second gap. I think he should be rejoining just in front of Salt Cedar, if I counted it right. Psychedelics is off the road. It changes again. Psychedelics down to 9th position. And Marzen goes around, and Marzen has stopped, so that's a net loss of 1 position, at least for Psychedelics. As we continue on with our twists and turns, Cold Rubber catches the German off guard, McLaren Tim. Very close to track limits there at the exit, and rejoins behind Salt Cedar. I don't think his teammate will care much if he goes around, but still, 17-second gap is probably safe enough for it to not matter at all. They'll take it carefully, and I can see a scenario where McLaren team just tries to pull Saltzeder along, gain him a tiny little bit of time, ensuring his podium place, and maybe McLaren team will need to pull him along since Hockenheimring is not slowing down too much. Looks like an issue for Wushi, who drops down to 10th again. But that was a pit window of difference. That is the battle. Mawson versus Psychedelics now. And Scheiper in the pits. Mawson with a little bit of a slow outlap, I feel. 37 flat for Psychedelics, which is a decent result being considered. But if Mawson holds back, let's see. That's 4th and 8th. Gunses in the pits. Counting direct if Viperian stays as is. So that's 4th and 8th, and that's definitely an advantage for Autumn. And Saltzeder dives onto pit road as well, not compromising his teammate at all, and Autumn racing in the pits as well. That might be crucial for his battle with Psychedelics. Good stop for Autumn. We're gonna be seeing that's leaders rejoining. That's Gunses, Saltzeder, and Nimedes on the pit road as well. Viperian goes around, actually not around, but close to Saltzeder. Let's see if there's gonna be a battle into the turn. Viperian would want to not stay behind him for too long, or maybe use a little bit of draft. Nimedes in the pits. Autumn Racing rejoins. And that's his pure position here. And we're gonna be watching here. That might be another issue for Saltzeder as Viperian pulls ahead. And if Viperian will slow him down sufficiently, that might be helpful for Autumn Racing, who's electing for a later pit stop. But maybe he would want to stop now to get directly behind Saltzeder, while Viperian is being a little bit of a buffer. Meanwhile, Mawson and Psychedelics still locked in a battle. Nimedes 6th. There is a gap between him and Saltzeder. Mercedes versus Porsche. Psychedelics versus Mawson. And looks like not much of a battle put up by Mawson, who is currently fine with his position regarding his battle with Viperian. He just needs to be directly behind him, and he pretty much knows it, I think. Saltzeder, meanwhile, already a second behind Viperian. And Viperian dives onto pit lane. Saltzeder dives onto the pit lane. Saltzeder dives onto the pit lane for the second time. I am not sure what happened there, but it's a huge wrench into his battle with Nimedes. What happened there? Something definitely happened at the stop for Saltzeder. He was losing time and dove straight back onto the pit lane. So that's an issue, and he's gonna be dropping positions. We're waiting to see it. There is Nimedes, and he goes ahead. Autumn Racing improves to 3rd spot now. That's another trouble for Psychedelics. Let's see where Psych is. He is now traversing pit lane, rejoins, and he'll rejoin in front of both Viperian and Psychedelics. Viperian, here is Saltzeder. There is another car. Not sure who that was. I think it was one of Nordfelder's cars. Was overtaken on the pit exit. That is allowed. But now Saltzeder finds himself behind. Let's see. Behind Mawson. And now Mawson and Viperian in a direct battle at the pit exit. That's the battle for the Division 2 title. Mawson with the move on the inside. The Porsche is ahead. Mawson is ahead in the battle and ahead in the race. Crucial overtake for the Brit. Now he has to keep that position. Viperian would want to challenge that as soon as possible. Saltzeder behind both of them. Saltzeder now about 10 seconds behind Nimedes in his battle. Nimedes leading, so Saltzeder has to be directly ahead of a Dane. And that's not going to be happening right now. So Saltzeder needs to clear all of these 3 cars in front of him and chase down Nimedes. He might want to get close to Psychedelics to do so. Autumn Racing now in 3rd position. third position means he's gonna get 32 points, and the car in sixth is getting 25. Car in sixth getting 22. So Psychedelics, I think, is fine with fifth place. That's gonna be 7-point difference. So Psychedelics is 1 point to the good currently in the battle for third. But he has Martin, Viperian, and Saltcedar. Probably Saltcedar is most dangerous opponent here if he manages to clear the two. Still 25 minutes to go. Anything can happen, and Saltcedar definitely has the pace in the Ferrari. Psychedelics cannot afford to drop a spot. Automation is pretty comfortable in third. 25 seconds ahead is Gunzer's, 8 seconds back is Nemedas, and pit stop's done. So the Russian is pretty comfortable. Psychedelics needs another place. And he has about 25 minutes to get one. Smart Pipe goes ahead of Scheiber here. I think I've heard something. Yes, I've heard something. I've heard Viperian losing the car. That's a Mercedes off the road. That'd be turn 10, I believe. And now he drops further down, 8 seconds behind Saltcedar. Saltcedar goes ahead of Viperian in terms of position, but I think that overtake would have happened anyway. But Viperian is further down from Marzen, and that's the only concern. He is still ahead of Kulke, so that's a battle for second in Division 2. Kulke is not having the best of days, but that title might be going to Marzen sooner rather than later. But now Saltcedar is still in a battle. Saltcedar wants to get ahead of Marzen, wants to catch up to Psychedelics and cruise to Nemedas with him. Not a lot of time to do so. He'll need to be gaining a lot, and Viperian is off again. Disaster for the Kiwi. I'm trying to locate where he is currently. It's turn 1. That's wide in turn 1. And now he's under fire from our race leader, McLaren team. He's not going to be fighting that, just gets out of the way. Continues on in 9th place. So for now, Saltcedar is chasing down Marzen. He needs to close down, what is a 10-second gap in 25 minutes. It's very challenging and needs to be on point for Saltcedar. His fastest lap currently 27.9. Nemedas' fastest lap 27.4. So the Dane is not exactly giving up here. Very, very difficult job ahead of Saltcedar. But he needs to start with small steps, overtaking the Porsche in front of him. He'll have not a lot of... You see, Nemedas gets a fastest lap for himself. 27.4. And looks like it's an issue for Wuxi in turn 11. That's a familiar spot for errors. He's dropping down to 9th and 10th now. And I believe he's yet to stop, so that's gonna be a further drop for the Irish driver. Oh, Viperian off the road again. That's the last turn. That Mercedes is completely misbehaving and he drops down to 9th. And now Kulke is ahead of him, and that is crucial for the second place in Division 2. That is very unfortunate. Trubush now on pit road for his scheduled stop. We have about one more lap. If drivers want to jump down the pit lane. If anybody hasn't done so yet, but Viperian losing out big time. That's very unfortunate for the Kiwi who had the one hand of the division on the Division 2 title earlier on, but now dropped all the way back. Continuing this battle between Marzen and Saltcedar. It's last lap if somebody wants to go onto the pit road. I don't think there'll be too many takers, but 27.3 from Nemedas. He gained a second over Artem Racing, so I think that might still be another twist and turn in the championship battle. I think that's Smart Pipe as well in the pits. Not sure, I've seen an orange car. Yeah, that's Smart Pipe in the pits on the last possible lap.
So if Demetis gets around Atom racing, that's Atom having to push Psychedelics down to basically Marsden and Saltseer. He needs those people to get around him to stay in third place. Don't think that's happening. But Marsden is now 4 seconds back, and now he's gonna be under fire from Saltseer. Now, the thing is, if Saltseer goes around Marsden and Psychedelics, that's good enough for Atom. He'll be fine with that and claim third. The pit window is now officially closed. We have 20 minutes plus 1 lap to go, and still a few question marks in our general standings. The most important one at the moment, who's gonna claim the third spot in the overall championship? It's a battle between Atom Racing and Psychedelics. Atom had a disastrous qualifying. Disastrous quali that got him down to 11th place. He improved all the way to third. Psychedelics going the other way around, found himself in 5th position. Saltseer is putting pressure on the Porsche. Looks like Whitechapel in the pits as well. I don't think that's pit related, as he would have been disqualified already, so I think that's car related, a possible retirement for the Russian. We'll keep you updated on the if possible. But for now, Saltseer is trying to catch his prey. And with just last 20 minutes of the championship left, a little bit of a breather for everybody involved, and we'll be back after this pure sound. Mind bunt activated is how I would have described it. Overtake from Saltzitter on Marzen. And now Marzen drops down to 7th in front of Kulke and Viperian. So Division 2 all together, but there is quite a bit of a gap between Marzen and Kulke. Saltzitter now 6 seconds back of Psychedelics. If Atom Racing wants that podium position, he better hope that Saltzitter is able to close down this 6 seconds and 15 minutes remaining until the end of the race. I honestly don't think that's happening, but weird things have happened, and Psychedelics has not been mistake-free today. So still lots of race to go, and obviously tires are not going to be feeling any better come the end of it. 27.6 from Nimedes, still hunting down Atom Racing, but 6.4, so there's been a mistake somewhere, which has not allowed Nimedes to close that gap down. The Dane definitely had a great performance until that little issue in Mobile 1 turn 11. Found himself on the podium place challenging for top 2. Unfortunately currently residing only in 4th position. But still not too far back. We're back to 6 seconds to Atom. Looks like he's the faster car. He is absolutely the faster car, but a little bit an error here and there just changes things. We continue on. 13 minutes left. 6 seconds between Atom Racing and Nimedes. 5.6 between Psychedelics and Saltzitter. Marzen has a comfortable half a minute gap to Kulke to secure Division 2. McLaren team is far in the lead. That he is not having any issues. He's just driving the hell out of that Ferrari. Might as well go on board with the American, who is abusing the track limits here immediately. And yes, he hasn't put a foot wrong in the championship. Beautiful display. He's won 5 out of 6 races he participated in. He dropped points in Dubai. He missed the US race, and he is about to claim his 6th win in the season. Absolute domination by Tim. He hasn't been that good in qualifying, gotta say. He's just won 3rd out of his 6 wins. He dropped qualifying let's see, it's had to be Australia. Yeah, he dropped that one. He dropped one in Czech Republic. He dropped one in Italy. He got back to it in Austria and got the pole by 1,000th of a second in Germany. So even if one lap pace is not good enough, McLaren team finds a way to just keep consistently pumping out lap after lap after lap. That's what's currently putting him in this position. 20 seconds clear of literally everybody. And already lapping traffic now behind a True Wushi, who's currently in 11th. Definitely not as dominant as Red Bull Ring was, where he lapped almost the entire field. True Wushi slows down to let Tim through. And you see he's faster than his best lap now even. By a tiny bit, but he is, so we might get a new fast lap. 600 faster. There might have been a little bit of track limits, 26.897, and we've just accidentally witnessed the new fastest lap of a race by McLaren Tim. And he's still the only car at race pace to exit 127s. So that's utterly dominating performance. Looks like Psychedelics and Saltzitter are holding station. No improvements between the two in timing, so that stays as is. Nimedes is slowly catching up to Atom Racing, 5.7 now. But I think that's a little bit too far without a mistake from the Russian. But Atom Racing, even without mistakes, I don't think he's gonna be getting there. Once more, third place in the race will give you a grand total of 32 points. Fifth place will give you 25. The gap currently between Cyclex and Hockenheimring is 8 points, so it will be 1 point to the good for the German. Obviously, steering decision pending. If somebody gets a penalty that might throw a wrench into this whole thing. If Günzes somehow finds himself with, say, 40 seconds worth of penalties, I'd question him a lot, but if he somehow does that, there'll be a change. 26.826. McLaren team just got bored and started posting fastest lap after fastest lap with 10 minutes to go. While everybody's tires seem to be dying, McLaren team's tires are coming alive at the same time. It's spectacular what the American is able to do with his tires towards the end of the race. He's posted fastest lap several times in the closest stages, so I'm not sure what he's doing with the tires, but it's definitely working out to him. 13 cars on track in the finale. Big gaps towards the bottom, but still a couple of contending positions up top. Marsden 2 seconds down on Salzgitter. It looks like Salzgitter is pulling away slowly but surely. Marsden can still see him, but I don't think Marsden wants to, push harder than he needs to. He has completed his target. He is ahead of his two rivals, so he just needs to bring it home. Next car that'll be in overall championship is gonna be 45 points ahead, so he's not gonna improve regardless of his position. He's gonna be staying in 8th place and securing himself Division 2 title. A great result for Marsden, who skipped whole 3 races. With one drop, that's 2 races, and with points in the 20s, if we had 50 points on that total, that's gonna be about 130, so he's fighting for close to top 5 with his disaster class in Sochi as well. So Marsden is definitely improving and might be a threat the next year in Division 1 now. Just race participation will definitely change a lot. Marsden closed down a little bit, 1.6 between him and Salzgitter. Honestly, if I'm Marsden, if I'm close to Salzgitter, I'm just not taking chances, I'm just not attacking. Just sit behind, wait for the race to end, collect the trophy, and go to the sunny beaches to enjoy summer vacation. And we'll see what tactic the Brit chooses. We have just 7 minutes plus 1 lap to go now on the clock. Pretty solid up top, 28.5 from Hockenheimring. We've seen Nemaitis pull 27 force, 28.2 from Nemaitis as well. He might have used up his tires trying to chase down. Now just the tire is not performing at the end of a race. He is catching up though. The gap is down to 5 seconds. But the time is ticking away slightly faster than Nemaitis is catching Artem. That's the problem. But again, for Nemaitis, the goal is... He is 21 points behind Hockenheimring, so he's not going to be gaining much in terms of overall championship. But he is ahead of Salzgitter, which was his target for the top 5 finish. So even if he gets close to Hockenheimring, I still don't think he'll be entirely too aggressive on the overtake. There's just no need. He might want to get the podium. I understand the podium position is valuable in a particular race, but championship-wise, with the rival 14 seconds back, and the crash might set you back 20, 30 or even more. It's probably just risk consideration at this point. Hockenheimring is stuck a little bit behind the car, or might have just overtaken. I think it's one of the... he just got around, it looks like one of Nordfelder's Motorsport cars. Oh, a little bit loose for Nemaitis. Again, you see that the car is rapid, but mistakes here and there a little bit. And it looks like there's an error from a slow car. Yes, it is. And now that's on the outside. Yeah, that's one of the North furthest cars. In particular, that's White Shepherd. And the gap is back up to 5 seconds and another minute of time wasted by this these position swaps and this cautiousness. The mid is definitely showing great pace, but a little bit inconsistent at the end. But still great result for the Dane, 4th in the race, and it looks like 5th in the championship secured. And a great result to cap off the debut in Division 1 for Nemidis. Marsden closing down on Salzgitter. The gap is now just 1 second. The Brit is definitely pushing. A little bit wide for the Porsche, but still that Porsche is rapid and it's within 1 second. Still 4 minutes to go. Still time for Marsden to gain a position. It won't change anything in the championship. That's just for the place today. Salzgitter is not under fire from behind the standings either, so that's all fine for him if he loses that place. But they both want to keep their car clean if they do end up engaged in a battle. That's the #1 priority for both cars. And both cars, actually I'm not sure about Salzgitter, but Marsden is very close to point penalty threshold. So while he's 30 seconds ahead, might not want to tease your fate and just be careful. The car behind is actually a race leader, I believe. I think that's McLaren team catching up to them. Yes, it is. He already lapped everyone up to P7, and now he's hunting down Marsden and Salzgitter. He might wait. There's 3 minutes left in the race if he catches up to not do anything with that battle. Though he might want to help out his teammate if he gets ahead of Marsden and carefully orchestrates a move with his teammate. He might help out because Salzgitter seems to be in a little bit of need of help, as Marsden is all over his rear, half a second between them, and if it comes down with that gap to Parabolica, I'm not sure the Ferrari can compete. Porsche's engine is incredibly strong, especially on a straightaway, so if Marsden keeps that pace, Salzgitter knows that. Salzgitter knows his weakness and tries to push hard in the 3rd sector with lots of twists and turns. The gap is back up to 1 second. The 2 minutes left in the race, so it's 3 more laps for our race leader. And if he doesn't overtake them, 4 laps for those 2 guys involved. Definitely close battle. 4.4 for Nemidis. He's still closing down, but still not enough unless a mistake happens by Autumn Racing. A very, very hard cut over the curb by Marsden. I think he stayed within track limits, but abusing the car to all it's worth. Remember that Marsden does not have to yield to McLaren team. Blue flags are informational only. And that's a send, that's a hard move by Marsden. Deep on the brakes, there's a crossover and that's a race. Will Marsden be able to hold on? Yes, he does! What a move by Marsden. Deep, late, and perfectly executed. The Brit is up to 6th spot and might be showing exactly why he will be taking that Division 2 title. He now has to mount the defense. Salzgitter might let Tim through and use him as a bumper to drive around Marsden together. But this is the sector where the Ferrari is faster. So Marsden has to defend here. Smart Pipe gets around Turusha. That's a swap between Buckfast Racing Lamborghinis for 11th place. Marsden out to the final turn, and he will be glad to see lots of straightaways in front of him. That's where his Porsche shines. That's where he might be able to get further away from Salzgitter. Hard over the curbs, both cars, as they head towards turn 2. We're looking at 2 laps for the leader. Where is McLaren team? He's behind. I think he's for now staying behind this battle. Just waiting patiently. He doesn't need to push. And he doesn't want to compromise his teammate. 0.5, 0.6 between Marsden and Salzgitter. Marsden is pushing hard in the Parabolica and into the hairpin with the speed difference. But now, after Mercedes Arena and the whole second half is the Ferrari area. So he needs to build enough of a gap to keep that gap at the end of the lap, at the exit of Z curve. 0.8 between them. The time has expired. It will be 2 more laps for them at the end, since the leader is right behind them, and he will be taking white flag for the final lap of the race this time around. A little bit of smoke from that Porsche locking up the left front tire into the Zach's turn. It's a very cambered, almost a carousel type turn. You see the gap disappeared, but Mawson is still ahead. But there is a slow car in front. Hopefully it doesn't interfere. White flag, last lap for our leader. 2 laps for these two that are still engaged in a hard battle. 0.3. There's obviously some draft happening. Helping Salzgitter, who's later on the brakes than Mawson. Mawson doesn't have to be late on the brakes. There's a little bit of a tank slapper. And looks like, who's that? Which one of the cars is that? I'm a little bit confused, and it looks like it's McLaren team overtaking both, but that's a battle for the position still. McLaren team managed to get around both of the cars, but now Mawson with his superior engine goes to the inside. There is a Nordfelder's car that better get out of the way of these two. Locked in a battle. Mawson keeps the position after an error. A little bit of tank slapper to the exit of turn 4, but the power through Parabolica helped the Porsche. Now he's gonna be stuck. Now he's gonna be stuck behind the car of Nordfelder's Motorsport. Nordfelder's gets out of the way for both cars, but now Salzgitter is on the bumper and looking at turn 11 side by side for the two cars. Mawson pulls out of it. Mawson pulls out of it. And they might end up lap down, so it might be actually the final lap with the team overtaking them. So it might be the overtake for P6 for Salzgitter as McLaren team crosses the line in a moment. Victor and a champion, McLaren team from Racing Team Intel. Brilliant race, brilliant performance, and it looks a mistake late for Mawson trying to push back. And he finishes in 7th place, Salzgitter in 6th. And just a last lap error by Mawson. Whitechapel finishes in 13th. Nemaidas closing down, he's 3.7 back. Gunses, 2nd place in the race, 2nd place in the championship. Well handled by the Latvian, but no wins to his name. Close but no cigar. Now looking at 3rd and 4th. And they're gonna be the next to finish on the lead lap. Kulke in 8th position in front of Viperian, but the it looks like it stays as is. Mawson 1st in Division 2, Kulke 2nd, Viperian is gonna finish 3rd, Smart Pipe Truush 11th, 12th, and here is our 3rd place finisher, Atom Racing. Brilliant performance from 11th at the start all the way to the podium, but unfortunately I don't think that's gonna be enough for him to claim P3 in the championship as he finishes on podium. Nemaidas close in 4th with a slight mistake, and Psychedelics hangs on by a singular point. Stewart decisions pending, obviously. Hangs on by a single point to his 3rd place in the championship. Donuts and a burnt rear rubber for McLaren team, our 2024 Phoenix World Championship champion. Beautiful, beautiful dominating by Tim. And well, let's not waste a lot of time and get to talk to a few people while Tim is busy burning his rubber. Let's see who we can get. Let's see who we can get here with the sound of lots of donuts in the background. So, Mawson, hello, hello.
Hello.
So, from what I understand, congratulations. Decisions pending, you are in the lead of Division 2. So, tell us about this race. It looks like it was a busy one for you.
I really struggled, and by the end my vision was going, so I was like seeing double, and I was just trying to keep it on the track.
So yeah, the very difficult battle with Salzgitter and the late overtake Just
Yeah.
a little bit of Porsche thing in the turn 4, a little bit loose on exit.
Yeah, just a little bit. Just the rears started giving up by the end of the race as well, so I was just, yeah, driving on my wits end. But yeah,
But
it was a
still,
good race. Other than that,
definitely solid performance, and considering you have missed 3 races and you are finding yourself in 8th position in the championship, that's a good base for the next year, which will see you in Division 1.
oh yay!
Well,
Thank you very
congratulations.
much. Thank you very
Congratulations,
much.
and enjoy the summer break.
Will do. Thank you.
Alright, they chatted amongst themselves, but I'm gonna rudely interrupt that to congratulate McLaren Tim. You are the Phoenix World Championship 2024 champion.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, that was a good race. Looks like all our cars were quick, and that was nice. That was a shame. I think both of them ran into bad luck. But yeah, that was great.
Yes, absolutely dominating performance once again. And about last lap, we're trying to stand back a little bit in that fight. Just before that little issue with Martin, or just the guys ahead pushed hard enough to hold you back for a couple laps.
No, yeah, I was trying to see if I could help Salz in any way. I was like, I could just park it and let you guys back past, and you get one more lap to battle. But it looks like Salz got Marzin right at the end of the last sector there, so I just finished it, and we could get Salz a place like that. I think Marzin made a mistake as well, so yeah, I was definitely trying to help my team.
So definitely a great result for your team as well. So you are both the drivers champion and RTR White are the team champion, with a huge gap for you and Salziter for the between you and PRT Black. And any idea what's ahead on the horizon for you and Racing Team Intel for the next year of Phoenix World Championship?
We'll see. I hear the cars will get a rebalancing, so yeah, that'll be interesting. Yeah, definitely had a lot of fun in the Ferrari. Uh, I mean, I did complain a little bit sometimes about the the balance and such, but I had a great time. It was just really interesting to see, like, setting up the car, trying different things, and trying to abuse it to go as fast as possible, and then also improving my own driving overall. I think real world driving, and then it translated a lot into the sim, how to make myself faster in different ways that I might not have been trying before. So yeah, we'll see. Definitely we'll take a deserved break, and we'll see, yeah, what comes next season in Phoenix Racing Club.
Right, good luck, have fun, and enjoy the championship.
Yeah, and thanks for the broadcast as always.
Right, we're definitely gonna grab quite a few people today to talk with at the end of the season. Next car, the car that provided a large amount of entertainment at the end of race. Salzida, hello.
Hello, Georgian.
Congratulations with the team championship for Racing Team Intel White, and tell us a bit about the final battle with Marzen.
Yeah, I'm glad I was able to give enough points input to take it overall. Like, the heavy lifting is done by Tim. It's pretty obvious. But it's nice. It's nice. It's a nice team, and we help each other. And yeah, works out.
So at the end, it looks like you and Marzen were completely just trading blows half by half. So first half dominating Porsche engine, but in the second half you got back, and that last lap move into turn 11. So you were just going for it, considering Nemesis was ahead and there was really nothing to lose?
Yeah, I mean, we mostly traded like mistakes at the end, and the added pressure of the leader behind us was also there. And I was with Tim in the same voice channel, so we could communicate at least. And he was like, just go and try and catch him. And after he got by, we also caught up a back marker, and that like threw Marzen off a little bit, I think. So I was able to get back past. Yeah, but the race overall was a bit more frustrating, so I did not even try that hard at the end. And I think Marzen should have had the place, to be honest, but it is what it is.
So, looking further ahead, Racing Team Intel and the next Phoenix World Championship, what are we expecting to see?
Yeah, I mean, we are liking the Ferrari pretty much. Tim has the car figured out, I think. Like the last two setups were very good, considering going into the season we thought we would have no chance at these tracks. Like we thought the Porsche would just run away. But like you saw with Mawson and me, it is very fast on the straight line, but on the twisty bits, our car just runs away. And the Ferrari is also pretty good in a straight line, so with the setup we had. So yeah, car worked out pretty well, and I think we will stay with it probably.
Alright, well, good luck in the next season, congratulations with the title, and see you next time around.
Yeah, see you. Bye.
And now for the man that barely scraped by, but I believe stayed in third place in the championship, Psychedelics. Hello, hello.
Hello.
So, a race of a little bit of frustration for you, I guess, but just hoping that it would work out with the gap between you and Artem.
Yeah, that sums it up pretty well. I struggled a bit on fresh tires, surprisingly, especially after the pit stop. The car just behaved entirely unexpected, which made me lose it, I think, on the outlap. And yeah, from there it was just trying to keep it together and keep the gap to Artem as small as possible, which I think worked out.
So, it looked like that Mercedes is very good on the straights, but I've noticed with you and other Mercs, the braking performance in the hairpin was outmatched by other cars. Is that something with the setups you run in PRT Black, or just something that just looks like that from the commentary booth?
I think the Merc in general, due to its higher speed, just suffers on braking, especially since we were running a bit lower downforce than usual. And that's something I noticed in the past races too, like 1 or 2 clicks of rear wing down and the braking performance goes to shit.
I see. Well, you still, I believe, hold on unless there'll be some hefty penalties. And for now, congratulations with the championship podium, and see you next time around.
Thanks and bye.
We have time for more. We definitely have time for more. Hello, hello, Nemesis.
Hello.
Oh wow, you're quiet. Hold on a minute. There you go, should be much better. A race where you had a lot of pace and that one small mistake kind of set you back, but you still managed to come back and I believe claimed P5 in the championship. Tell us about the race a little bit in general.
Well, during practice, I saw I had decent pace. Same in qualifying, honestly. We were super close, all of us. But yeah, the little incident I had simply just put me off pace. It made me unsure of the car, if I could trust it in the fast corners. So I lost like 0.8 in on the whole track after that because I just didn't believe in the car anymore.
But overall, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was lucky in the sense that people had unfortunate incidents in front of me, such as Sal's having to pit twice, which kind of gave me the position I had.
Yeah, even at the end of a race, he was still catching up Artem. It looks like the times were inconsistent, but really fast. So you were catching up, but then a little bit back. Is that something to do as well with the belief in the car and just not taking risks when it was a little bit unsettled?
Oh yeah, for sure. Especially with one tires, I didn't want to risk a sudden spin or a tank slapper or anything in some of the corners. So I just took it really easy to not crash.
Alright, well, congratulations with the battle with Salt Cedar. Congratulations with top 5, I believe, in the championship. And see you next time around.
Yes, you.
And I think we have time for one more. Someone who was so close, yet so far this entire season. Gunsis, hello, hello.
Always too close, but not close enough.
So, solid second place in the championship. Is that success or disappointment for you in context of all races?
Partially, I would say it's a bit of disappointment. I would have hoped I would have gotten a win in the season somewhere. I think I had a couple of close calls, at least in Dubai. I remember I had good pace, but then I had multiple off moments. But at the same time, it's a bit of a success because I was able to keep at least some pace with Tim. I'm not sure if it was correlated or, you know, improving myself, and I just need to work on consistency now.
Definitely tough. You had quite a few qualifying success and close as well today before James showed up as well. And regard the next season, if the lineup stays the same, will you be staying with McLaren or trying something new?
I guess I'll have to take another look. I'm not sure if the cars will change in the next season, if there will be any balance updates or anything like that. If they stay the same, I would probably stay with the McLaren, but we'll have to see once the season comes.
Alright, well, congratulations with the second spot in the championship, and see you next time around.
Thank you very much.
Alright, and I think that is all we have time for today and for this season of Phoenix World Championship. Thank you so very much, everybody involved, everybody who helped this season happen, everybody who helped with stewarding, with race control, our resident safety car driver, Mr. Grinder, everybody who supported Phoenix World Championship and our Patreon supporters, and everybody who tuned in to watch the races, and of course to all of our drivers. It's one of the highest yield attendance of our recent seasons, and I hope we will grow from here on out and further ahead. But for this season, this is the end of the championship. Just a little bit of work left for us stewards, and we will be done. But until then, thank you so very much for watching. We will see you soon enough, possibly with some other races before the next Phoenix World Championship comes around. But until then, thank you for everything, and this is goodbye.